Hey guys, welcome back to another Five Nights at Freddy's video. Sorry I've been gone for a while. I was burnt out of making content, but because of all the new FNAF games and news that's been coming out, I've been inspired to start making videos again. So in today's video, I'll be talking about FNAF Ruin merch concepts I made also. If these don't look 100%, that's because I started working on these in May, and I got some details wrong. So if something looks a little different than how it really looks in the game, that's why. Anyways, let's get straight into the video. Also, one more thing. While I was making today's video, it got leaked their official FUNKO Ruin merch coming out, which is really cool. Anyway, let's get back to today's video. So the first mystery mini I want to talk about for today's video is Freddy. And you might be saying, oh, well, this isn't a Ruin concept. Well, yeah. The mystery mini wave is half FNAF movie and half Ruin, kind of like that one Twisted Ones wave from a while ago. But for Freddy, his mystery mini is already pretty good, but to make it more look like the FNAF movie, I gave him bigger ears that he has in the FNAF movie. I gave him his correct colors. Originally, I was going to give him red eyes, but I decided not to. And I just got rid of the top teeth and gave him a microphone. Now, that's really it for Freddy. He's probably the most simple out of all of the minis I made today, but I still think he looks really good. And if Funko did actually make these, I think it would have been cool if they made these flock, kind of like the Flock Nanny mystery mini. But yeah, that's it for Freddy. Now let's talk about Bonnie. So for Bonnie, I gave him a realistic bow tie and the more purplish blue color that he has in the FNAF movie, not like the bright blue that he has in FNAF VR. I gave him the new guitar because of the copyright issues, and I actually made him have two-piece ears because I don't think the original Bonnie has that. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I just made him look a little bit more robotic. I got rid of the top teeth, and I made him look more accurate to what he looks like in the FNAF movie. Alright, now it's down to Chica. So for Chica, I decided to get rid of those like little tufts of hair that she has on the side of her face that Funko usually gives her for her mystery minis, and decided to give her the more rounded, accurate head. I made her have an open jaw so you can see her teeth. I got rid of the top teeth like the rest of the characters. I gave the cupcake to her, and I actually gave the cupcake a little like in the movie he has like a plastic fire on the top of his head. And in the middle there's like a little light bulb, so it kind of glows, so I tried doing that. And I also gave her the white toes, and oh yeah, well obviously I already talked that she had the cupcake, but she's holding him too. So yeah, that's really it for Chica. Now it's down to Foxy. So for Foxy, all I did with him really is I gave him the shorts that he has in the movie, which is just one piece, like actual clothing. I gave him the tufts of feathers, not feathers, sorry, the tufts of hair that he has on the side of his face that look more fluffier, like in the movie. Did the same with his ears, they look a little bit more fluffier too. I gave him some golden teeth because the official one doesn't have that, and I gave him an accurate endo hand and endo feet. So that's really it for Foxy. He looks, I feel like, the most like the original mystery mini. But yeah, now it's down to Golden Freddy. So for Golden Freddy, I didn't do much for him, but I did do a lot for his head. I gave him the wires in his eye. I gave him the blue eye. I got rid of the top teeth. I gave him the wires coming out of his ear. And that's about it. I gave him not like a bright gold color like in the FNAF 1 game. I gave him the movie accurate colors. Besides that, he's mainly just a recolor of Freddy. But yeah, that's really not much to say about him. Now let's get on to the final FNAF movie concept for today's video. Spring Bonnie. So for Withered Spring Bonnie, or Spring Bonnie, whatever you want to call it, you can tell I put a lot of effort into this one. I actually redrew him because I didn't like how the original one came out, but I gave him some wires coming out. He has like a hole on one of the sides of his head. I gave him the little scratch and scar marks. I gave him, like, you can kind of tell, I did like the metal ring where like the human, or William Afton presumably, sees out of, so I gave him like human eyes underneath. And I'm pretty sure in the movie he has both the ears intact, but I could be wrong about that. That's what I saw in the trailer. I also don't think he has broken feet either, so his feet are intact too. But you can tell I just put a lot of effort in this one. I gave him a bow tie, I gave him the black button that Springtrap or Spring Bonnie has, and so yeah, I even gave him like what Toxic Springtrap's mystery mini has, like those little like metal rods coming out of the mouth. But I put a lot of effort into this guy. Definitely my favorite out of all the FNAF movie concepts I made for this video. And I cannot wait to see Spring Bonnie in the FNAF movie. I'm so excited. Anyway, let's get on to some Ruin concepts. So for Eclipse, I wanted him to have an eye that glows in the dark. So if Funko did make this, his eye would glow in the dark. So would the sun rays on the side. I know it looks a little bit weird. That's because I tried adding some shading onto it. Don't worry, it's the only one that likes this. I won't do this in the future, but it does not look that good. But from far away, it looks pretty good. But I wanted to make it so he looked more burnt. But I do kind of regret it on the metal endoskeleton parts. But it's whatever. His red eye would also glow in the dark if this was real. And I made some of his original teeth showing before the endo teeth, which is actually pretty cool. I gave him that like metal cheek he has. And yeah, that's about it. That's it for Eclipse. Probably not one of the better ones I made, but I think he still looks pretty cool. Anyway, now it's down to Monty. So for Ruined Monty, this is another one I really like. I decided to go for a different approach to this one. Instead of just giving him an endo head that would look weird and it wouldn't look like the Mystery Mini style, I decided to do what FUNKO did when they made their official endoskeleton Mystery Mini and give it kind of like a head that looked like a character, like the endoskeleton had like a Freddy head. So I did that with Monty, and I gave it like, it kind of made it look like a Glamrock endo, and I think it actually came out really nice. If FUNKO actually made a Ruined Monty Mystery Mini, it would probably look something like this. I think it looks pretty good. I gave it some other details too, like the wires at the bottom. I know that's not actually in the game, but he would need some sort of base to stay, so it doesn't like fall over and stuff. So I gave him that. I gave him the missing eye. I gave him the eye he has. I gave him like the Nightmare Foxy snout thing that he has in the game, which looks really cool. And I gave him his claws. That's it for Monty. Another one I really like. Now let's get on to Chica. So for Chica, this is another one I put an extreme amount of detail into. I gave her half-shattered face. I didn't give her a cheese because I made this one before Ruin came out, and I didn't know she had cheese on her face at the time. But I also didn't know she didn't have an earring either. But it's whatever. Those are just two small details. You can see I made the endo like really apparent. This is what I was doing to do with Monty's, but I don't think it really fit him. I think it fits Chica though, because the other half of her face still has that like feel of the Mystery Mini. I made her body like really destroyed. I made her missing her arm. I made her have an endo arm and an endo foot. And Chica honestly was really good. I even gave her like red dots in her eyes to show that she's being like controlled. But yeah, Chica is honestly one of my favorite Mystery Minis I ever made for these series. I really liked this one. But yeah, let's get on to the rest. So here's all the minis together. You can see 6 of the FNAF movie ones and 6 of the Ruin ones. But you might be thinking to yourself, how come you didn't talk about Roxanne Wolf, Mexis, and the photo negative Glamrock Freddy? That's because I don't really think they deserved a one-on-one segment with them. Because Mexis doesn't look accurate because I originally made him when there was only the trailer was out, and for some reason he looked really different in the trailer. Like I thought he was gonna have parts of an a Glamrock endoskeleton in him, and like some glitch trap parts. But I don't even think he is glitch trap. So I just decided to do some touch-ups so I can still put him in the video, but he doesn't look that accurate. I promise eventually I'll go back to him and I'll make him look better. Roxanne Wolf, I just ran low on time and I really didn't have time to draw her, but I kind of forgot about her. So I decided to just take the action figure, which we'll talk about soon, and I just made her look like kind of like a Mystery Mini. Actually, I don't even think that's that bad. I will go back to those two and make them in a future video. And finally, you might be wondering why is photo negative Glamrock Freddy here. That's because, I was short on time. So I feel like, what's something FUNKO would do? I was like, oh yeah, they would do that, definitely. So yeah, that's why he's there. But I promise I will eventually make some more characters, like, what's it called? Glamrock Bonnie or Mimic. Probably like Roxanne, Mimic, Glamrock Bonnie, and Mexis will be in a future video as Mystery Minis. But for now, you get to see these guys. And I don't even think they're that bad. I still think it looks good having them all together. But yeah, I actually really like the minis. They're definitely really fun to make. But now let's start talking about the plushes. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. I made a box for what the minis would look like in store. That's really it. That's just a short thing I just wanted to show you guys. Alright, now I'll actually start talking about the plush. I made 5 plushes for today's video, but there's 6 plush made by Oscar, the FNAF fan. Go follow him on Instagram. He's amazing. He made an amazing edit of my OC, and here it is. Also, I don't know if I ever said this, but my OC or mascot for the channel is Toy Spring Bonnie. I don't know if that really matters, but anyway, he did an amazing job on this plush, so go give him a follow. But the plush itself that he made, it looks really good. He gave him the little vest that my mascot has. He gave him like the bright green eyes. I always thought that was a cool touch I added. He actually added like the hair inside of it that I used for the new one. And he gave him the purple cheeks and the buck teeth. And he also gave him the eyebrows. I really like this. I love seeing fan art. So if you guys ever want send me fan art, just join the Discord server in the description below. But yeah, I love this. I really like the fan art whenever you guys make it. I only have a couple, but I really appreciate it if you guys do it. Anyway, now let's start talking about the Ruined plushes itself. So the first plush I'm going to talk about is going to be Glamrock Bonnie. Glamrock Bonnie, I don't know why, but I can picture it being the GameStop exclusive. I think it's mainly because right now there's only been 4 plushes leaked, but I can always picture there being a 5th one because that sometimes happens where an exclusive comes out later on after they've been leaked. But yeah, I gave him a good amount of detail. I decided to go with the shattered version of him that you actually see in Ruin, like after he's destroyed. So I gave him some missing parts by his wrist, and I also made him have that like gap by the star. I made him miss part of his face, and I gave him that little eyelash thing he has. I did not give him the shoulder pads on purpose, though, because most Funko plushes of the Dwayne Rocks, actually all of them, don't have any like the shoulder pads. So I don't think they would add it for Dwayne Rock Bonnie, sadly. But I don't try to make these look accurate all the time. I also try to make them look realistic, like to like what Funko would actually do. But I gave him the one-piece ears that he has in the game, and I made him missing the top left part of his ear and the endo being shown. Anyway, that's it for Glamrock Bonnie. But for Glamrock Chica, I used the Blacklight Chica plush, Glamrock Chica plush for half her face, and I used the official Glamrock Chica plush for the other half. And I made it look like it's kind of melting. I didn't add the cheese though because I actually made her before the game came out. But I did try to do like a simplified Glamrock endo made out of plush. I actually used the YouTube Mango plush to do that. But yeah, I also gave her an endoskeleton that actually makes sense that Funko usually doesn't do. But I gave it to her. I did make her wrong foot, the broken one, but that's only because I didn't know that the game wasn't out. And yeah, I gave her an endo arm. I gave her like a fixed arm. And I think she came out really nice. I really liked Glamrock Chica. Now let's talk about Eclipse. For Eclipse, I gave him. He's actually the reason the video exists, but I gave him parts of moon and parts of sun. I gave him like the chipped sun rays. I made it so the light's kind of leaking out of his eye, the sun part. I didn't add the endoskeleton on the moon side. I felt like that would make it look too complex, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. I gave him the broken teeth, and I gave him some of the fixed teeth on the sun side. I gave him most of it as moon's pants, but I did kind of make it look like it got burnt and like faded into the sun's pants. I gave him the broken leg, but I still decided to give him the foot, but at the time I didn't know if he had the foot or not. And I also made one of his arms moon and one of his arms sun, like in the game. And I gave him the gray hands because he is missing both his hands in the game. It's just endo, like kind of like claws, kind of. Also, I kept the moon hat on because he has that in the game as well. So yeah, after all, I feel like he's one of the. After all that, I feel like he's one of the most accurate plushes I made for Ruin because it kind of is hard to make Ruin plushes. They are very complex designs, so it's very hard to simplify them. And some details you do have to get rid of. Some you do have to keep. Anyway, now let's get on to Roxy. For Roxy, it was kind of hard to do this, but originally I was trying to make her head look 3D, kind of like the Sly Pie Ruin Roxy plush. But I decided to just make it 2D, and it was gonna be printed on. But I really hope Funko makes it look 3D and a lot better. That'd be really cool. I gave her the endo ears that she has in the game. I used Radioactive Foxy's endoskeleton for like that chest part that's shown. I did give her a little bit of the part she has, and I added like some withering on it. That'd probably just be printing though. And I just used Roxy's feet and made them dry at the bottom because she has endo feet. And I gave her an endo arm, and I gave her the other arm, part of the arm on there, but the hands like endo. So that's it for Roxy. Now let's go on to the final plush for today's video, Ruin Monty. So for Ruin Monty, I end up using Bonnet's like body because he probably have like the beans at the bottom to keep him up, and he doesn't have legs in the game. And we know that they can make characters without legs because they made Bonnet. So yeah, I used Bonnet's body. Then for the head, I used Monty's head. I did actually just notice this now, but I did use the wrong eye color. He does not have blue eyes. He's supposed to have an orange eye, but it's okay. I gave him a mohawk that looks bigger. That's because I used the U2's Monty's plush mohawk. And for the body, I think they would just print on like an endoskeleton. So I just took a render of the endoskeleton from the game, and I lowered the opacity so you can see it's like kind of translucent, so you can still see the fabric, which I think that worked. And his bottom jaw is orange, but in the game he actually has an orangish bottom jaw. So I decided to give him that there. And yeah, that's really it for the plushes. Now it's on to the main part of today's video, the action figure. So the first figure I want to talk about is Eclipse, which I'm actually really proud of. I gave him the endo mouth, the endo leg, and his endo hands. I think it would be really cool if the yellow on his stomach and eye glowed in the dark. So I made it a brighter yellow than it is in the game and trying to give that effect. I know he is missing his left leg, but in the game, but Funko would most likely give him a foot. Also, it wouldn't be the first time a merch company gave a FNAF figure that's missing his leg, an actual leg. McFarlane. But yeah, that's about it. I'm really proud of this one. I hope Funko does make an Eclipse one day, which I think they'll do. But anyway, now let's get on to Ruin Chica. So for Ruin Chica, I actually added all the cheese and garbage and like the garbage bag coming out of her. I always thought that was a cool design they did with her, and I really like it. I gave her an endo arm, but she still has like that green pad that like she has on her normal arm for some reason. I'm pretty sure the Ruin character does. I gave her the thinner eyelids like in the game. I gave her a slice of pizza with cockroaches on it. Because in the when you first get into like Chica's area, there's a whole bunch of garbage everywhere, and I feel like it fits. I added some cheese on the endoskeleton, like on her torso, and I added some cheese on the garbage bag. I made her overall just look really destroyed, and I really hope Funko does like what they did with my figure. And because that would look like that would be probably one of the coolest FNAF figures. I have really high expectations for a new Ruin Wave, and I really hope they pull it off. But anyway, that's really it for Chica. There's not much to say about her, but I think she came out really well. Now let's get on to Monty. So for Ruin Monty, this is a character I can actually picture Funko skipping on because he's missing his like legs, and probably like kids wouldn't buy it. But I really hope they do make him because he's probably my favorite character in Ruin, because I think it's really, like I said earlier, I think it's really funny they like treat him like a dog or an alligator, because I just think that really fits Monty's character and it's like in a funny way. But I really hope Funko doesn't skip on him. But if we're only getting 4 figures, I'd really like to see a Glamrock Bonnie figure instead, even though like Monty is one of my favorite characters in Ruin. But I really hope we do get him, and they just give us like an exclusive Glamrock Bonnie. Right now, there's only 4 characters for the action figures, but I hope we'll get more. Anyway, that's besides the point. For Monty, I gave him like some of the orange rust that he has on his endoskeleton. I didn't give him an orange bottom jaw because I think it didn't really fit the action figure. I did give it to the plush though because it looked a little weird if it was just all gray. I gave him some yellow wires. I actually gave him Dreadbear's like mid-torso part so it can help him balance without there just being a pool of wires there like the Mystery Mini. But I think that it wouldn't really work for this. I gave him some sharp claws for hands. I gave him a couple more wires on his upper arms. I made him have that eye that's missing, and a couple of his teeth are chipped, and his mohawk has some hairs coming out of it. But yeah, that's Ruin Monty. But I think Funko, if they did make him, would have one of the mini Music Men as an accessory, because then again, he's like, he's missing his legs, so they probably have to do something to make up for that. So I think mini Music Man as an accessory would be a good fit. But yeah, that's Ruin Monty. I really hope to see this one day. I would love for there to be a Ruin Monty figure. Probably be one of my favorite figures that Funko ever made. But yeah, now let's get on to Roxanne. So Ruin Roxanne would be the last non-exclusive figure, which I think that they would only do 4 non-exclusives. But I do hope that some exclusive figures get leaked later down the line. But yeah, for Ruin Roxanne, this one was actually a really hard one to make. I gave her most of her endos showing. And I gave her like those endo claw hands. She has endo feet. She has an endo arm. She has her new like face. I gave her a Faz wrench as an accessory, but I feel like that really fits. But then again, maybe I should have gave her the Roxanne walkie-talkie, but I think that fits with a different character, kind of. But yeah, she looks really nice. The only thing I kind of regret is I think I gave her too much hair. But yeah, I think she looks really nice. She's definitely one of the... I really like this like whole video. The action figures were definitely the most fun to make. But yeah, I really liked Roxanne a lot. I gave her a lot of shatter, and they probably would reuse some parts from Chica for her figure, but in my concept, I just used new parts. But yeah, Roxanne looks really nice. I really hope they make her too. I think it would be really cool to have a Faz wrench as an accessory. I actually hope the official one has that. So hopefully we see that sometime down the line, but I'm pretty sure the figures are coming out in January. But yeah, that's it for the non-exclusive figures. Now let's get on to the exclusives. So the first exclusive for today's video is Mexis, or the Entity. Again, you can call it whatever you want. This one is a one I really hope they make, because I think it'd be really cool to see this one. I gave him the Vanny mask that you use in Ruin for it, because, you know, like, his game mechanics kind of go with that. I know he has like a tail thing, but I think he would need a base so he can stand, so we don't have another Nightmarian incident. So I gave him like a flat base at the bottom, and I think that kind of fits. I gave him like a blue highlight. I don't know, I can picture him being translucent, but I don't really like the translucent figures, but maybe some blue highlights would fit him well. I gave him some like pixels at the top of his ears because he has some like pixel indents. And yeah, I'll show at the end of the video, but I made an older version of him, and that's why the Mystery Mini looks weird, and that's why I scrapped his plush from this video, because he looks really different in the trailer, like I said earlier, but I ended up redrawing this one completely because the old one did not fit at all. So I'm glad I did that though, because he looks really nice. He'd probably be a Walmart exclusive, but everything is like a Walmart exclusive nowadays, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, that's it for the first exclusive. Now on to the second one. So for Mimic, I decided to give him the Roxanne Wolf's walkie-talkie that I was talking about earlier. Originally, I was going to give him Glamrock Freddy's walkie-talkie, but it didn't really fit because, well, it did fit, but I mean, like, I didn't know who I would give Roxanne's walkie-talkie to, but I gave Roxanne the Faz wrench, so I think it worked out just giving Mimic Roxanne's walkie-talkie, but we see Roxanne's more. But yeah, I think he looks really cool. I actually added rust onto him because he has that in the game, and I gave him the glowing eyes, but I feel like that fit him more. Now, I'm really proud of Mimic. The only thing I did use is I reused Monty's upper arms and one of his hands, but I think it looks fine. Honestly, I probably wouldn't be able to tell if I didn't say it. But yeah, I really hope we do get a Mimic figure, but this is probably going to be the closest thing we get to an endoskeleton figure. But Mimic looks really cool in my opinion, And originally I was going to make the costume one, but I'm glad I didn't. I feel like this one looks a lot better. So yeah, now let's get on to, well, kind of our final exclusive, Glamrock Bonnie. So for Glamrock Bonnie, the reason I said he was kind of the last one is because I made multiple versions of Glamrock Bonnie. I made a fixed one. I made the damaged one we actually see in Ruin, which we'll see. That'll be like technically the last one. And I also gave him one with glasses. But I decided to put the fixed one and the one with glasses in the same part because I feel like they look close enough. But yeah, there's what Glamrock Bonnie looks like with and without glasses. I gave him the little like neck shoulder pad thing he has, the star in the middle, the bright pink or pinkish red color he has, and the purple feet. And I actually noticed this, but he doesn't have like the claws on his hands. I actually forgot about that. So I originally added that, but I got rid of it. So yeah, that's what he looks like. I also gave him a red bowling ball because the bowling ball is like a staple of Bonnie Bowl, and Glamrock Bonnie is obviously a part of Bonnie Bowl. I would actually really like to see a Glamrock Bonnie figure. Glamrock Bonnie is one of my favorite characters in FNAF. I feel like the whole idea of him actually being, I didn't actually expect to see him. I thought they would just give him like a little Easter egg. But yeah, seeing Glamrock Bonnie was really cool. So that's why I made a whole bunch of concepts for him. So yeah, we'll see the final Glamrock Bonnie right now. So here is the final concept for today's video. Shattered Glamrock Bonnie, or Ruined Bonnie, whatever you want to call it. Sorry it looks a little bit messy. This is kind of like an extra I added. But yeah, I made him have like the destroyed upper arms. That's what the other Glamrock Bonnie has. Weirdly, parts of his endo is gone, so I just made it black. I gave him like the big gap in his chest, the broken foot, the broken like knee pads, and his face is all broken and the wires coming out. Now, I'm sorry it looks a little bit messy, but this is like a very last minute thing I added. And yeah, I'm really proud of it still. I feel like if they do make Glamrock Bonnie merch, he'll get the same treatment Sun and Moon got. He'll probably have like a destroyed and fixed version of him. Funko will make, I can picture that. I don't know if it'll come out with the Ruin Wave or later on, but I do hope it comes out with the Ruin Wave. Anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. I'm back now, though. I'll keep making videos. So expect a couple more coming soon. Actually, I have a video that's not merch related coming out, which I think you guys will like. So anyways, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.